Welcome to another episode of Latinos Who Thrive. I'm your co-host and producer, Victor Escalante. Joining me in the studio today is Lady Ana Davila. Lady Ana, how are you today?
I'm doing magnific, fantastic. I'm very excited. Thank you, everybody, for joining us to this road to discovery and this beautiful journey that we're imparting. I'm very happy to be here.
That's a very well put way of the journey to discovery, because you're going to discover a lot of things about yourself. And on that topic, today's conversation deals with believing in yourself. Okay. So why don't you go ahead and get us started, Lady Anna? Why is this important to believe in yourself?
Oh my God. Because once you believe in yourself, Victor, the sky is limitless.
Let me ask you this. Were you born believing in yourself? Or was that taken away from you as a little girl?
No, I was born. I had a mother that I can tell these stories, incredible story. My mother, since she was an incredible woman, and she always told me that I was the best thing that it happened to her, and that anything I wanted in life, I will have. To dream big. And you're talking about a 5-year-old, a woman, she was beyond her time. And
A 5-year-old is the magical thinking stage in Piaget's child development model. Jean Piaget is the father of the developmental stages of a child. And so in that magical thinking, whatever people tell you, you accept as truth. And sometimes people never question whether it was really true. If you're put down, you believe that because why would adults lie to you, especially if they're your parents or your caregivers? That particular stage of development is not properly developed, then the rest of your life is basically destined for you
destined.
to question yourself, to question why you keep failing over and over and over again, or why the flip side is why you are so resilient, and why in the face of obstacles you face up to challenges and you just keep going, just like
And you keep
in
going.
your case.
Be furious.
In my own personal experience, I was born with a belief that I was smarter than everybody else. Okay. Where that came from, I don't know. And it didn't really matter because I work extra hard. You can never outwork me because I will always work harder to be smarter and to deliver on results whenever I'm working with a client. Now, back to you, Lady Anna.
I think that was something that she really programmed me to know that I wasn't alone. I remember she would look at the star, the brightest star, and she said, "You see that star? Anything you need and anything you want, that's you will be so protected. You are the chosen child of God."
Okay.
Stories as a child, I didn't want to go to school because I had white hair, gray hair when I was born, and she will hide it because I didn't want to go to school. And one of those nights, she said that I was the chosen child, and anything I wanted, I will have. And she said, "You will go to places that I never imagined existed.
Okay.
You will have beautiful people around you, and you will always be loved." And it is so interesting that
Now,
I walk through life like that.
that sounds like a beautiful prophecy that she gave you.
She prophesies over me. And I am like fearless. I
Now,
fear it. And I think it had to do a lot with what she programmed me to do.
so help us, and help the listener understand if that's the prophecy that you were given. How does that fit in with a lot of the trials and tribulations that your life
Right. That I
has
experienced.
that you experienced? Yeah.
So interesting. I really think that now at this time and age, I think that it was perfect journey that lead me to where I am now. I think that those dark moments were necessary in my life.
Why were dark moments necessary for you?
Okay. Because that I was a very naive woman that I was so sheltered and protected as a child that I didn't know the world was not so
Friendly?
pinky, pink, pretty, that it was good people out there and that I was
So
very
you
pretty.
started out with this Barbie doll type mentality that you would be accepted, praised, and everywhere you went. Now,
And I did, but I made choices and those decisions I made and were the ones that allowed me to go through the dark night of the soul.
what about
Mhm.
your father? What influence did he have on
My father had very little influence. My father was a very busy man. Um, that a typical mm, Latino man in many occasions. You know, in this part of the country that I am from, men usually have our lives. So
patriarch?
I'm aware, yeah, very particular, yeah. So he was way too busy doing himself and what he needed to do for business and his personal life. That I think that I was neglected as a child in my on my father's side, but at the end, not really neglected because I had 9 siblings. They adore me and they spanked me. And they were my brothers and my fathers at the same time because I was so sheltered and protected and loved at the same time. So I think that I don't see missing my father, that he was only in the morning having breakfast with us and then come at night, that type of father.
Did
Um,
your father believe in you?
I don't know if he believe in me.
Did your siblings believe in you?
My siblings, yes. My siblings, I come from a very traditional family with a set of values and convention, very, very traditional. So they had these huge expectations about me, and I became very a trailblazer. Like, this is the tools. I take all of the tools and all of the love that you gave me, and I take them with me wherever I go.
Okay.
And I think that one of my older brothers was my inspiration when it comes to a male figure,
Okay.
or a male, because my father was not very present in my life.
Okay.
Um, and my brother became my hero. He was
He also became your surrogate father because he played the role of fathering.
the father. He was the one, he like really, a lot of people don't understand. Well, he was 15 years older than me.
Mhm.
I was just a little girl. Yeah, about 15, I think. Years. I was just little when he was already becoming a man.
What
Mm.
about your teachers? Did they
Oh,
believe in you?
I had a teacher that at this moment we had an amazing relationship. Her name is Indiana. She was my second grade teacher. That I have an incredible relationship with her, believe it or not. Um, she believed in me.
Okay.
She became that role model for me,
Okay.
inspire me. She had that love that I just needed at that moment, and it was an instant connection when she became my teacher,
Now,
my second
so
grade teacher.
so some critics that are listening to us may think, well, of course she believes in herself. She was born into this family, that she was given this prophecy that she would be this outstanding woman that would do great things, of course. So she was loved by her siblings. She was loved by her teachers, of course. But I don't have any of that. What would you say to people like that?
I want to tell you that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what they told you. It's very deep spiritually because those are contracts that we signed. Is something that I want to share. One of these talks about a contract that we have with family members and in our lifetime, the spiritual contracts.
But give us an example of a spiritual contract.
Okay. And a spiritual contract is the contracts that we sign before we come into this reality. Since before we get conceived, we sign a spiritual contract with our creator, with soul, family member souls before we come into this world. They are here to give us exactly what they gave us. So I told my son and my daughter, I have two children. I tell them, they say, "Mom, you're very hardcore." Mom. My ex say, "Yeah, you are." So anyway, I I tell my children, I say, the day that I find out that my parents did not choose me, but I choose my parents, is the day that I had like boom, um, mind blowing realization about who I was and who I will become. Because my mother did not give me a lot of time. She was a big family. She gave me quality time. And the words that came out of her mouth were words of wisdom very few times. And that impacted me. But life turned me around many times and went through the dark night of the soul. I lost the count, and my mother wasn't there anymore.
Did
And
you ever?
brothers were not there
Yeah.
anymore.
Did you ever stop believing in yourself?
Um, I did. It was one time in 2020. I mean, yeah, in 2020, I was very ill, and I say, I am done. I did. I say, I am done. I am done fighting so much to become this woman that you want me to be and that I want to become. And I am tired. I'm exhausted. And I completely threw the towel. I was under oxygen, dying basically, and I have cold. And I throw the towel and I say, I'm done. I'm done. I can't do this anymore. And I remember that I fainted going to the door, and my lungs were shutting down. And that moment that I say I give up, I give it all. I'm done. Not trying this anymore. And I woke up the next day in the morning with no COVID, no nothing, strong. And I say, and I turned, I was alone, and I looked up at the sky and I said, "What are you doing to me? Are you playing games with me?" So I got the phone and I call my friend FaceTime and I say to her, "Can you see me?" She said, "Yeah, you look very good. Like yesterday you were very sick." I said, "Please tell me you can see me." And she said, "Yes." I thought I had died.
That's what I was thinking.
She just remembers as the "You can see me" FaceTime. It was the funniest thing at the end. But yes, that moment. But it was that moment that you say, "I'm gone."
What would you tell listeners? They've lost believing in themselves. Maybe nobody else believed in them. And so, what would you tell people facing that?
That is a shatter. That is part of your dark side that doesn't want you to believe
Okay.
that you are all. You are divine. You are love. You are everything in one and nothing at the same time. That what you're experiencing right now is necessary sometimes. And that is going to lead you to greatness.
That's hard to grasp, and I totally concur with. I totally
It's difficult because you have to experience it. My mom
concur,
said always,
but we're gonna hold you by the hand and take you on this journey to help you to get to that level to where you get what Ladiana is saying. Now, Ladiana,
I did something, I did an exercise in one of the workshops that I did in California. And it has some lot to do with that. It's an exercise that very impacts your soul a lot. And I really think that the reason we get into that state of mind is because we get disconnected from the soul.
yes,
It's a disconnection. So it's an exercise that I did picking up those little fragments they left because of what you have gone through and what I had been through. That I lost those little pieces. I thought I remember at that time.
the shaman, the shamans which have studied shamanism call it soul retrieval. That we leave behind parts of our soul, and what they do is they go back and they retrieve those pieces. There is a process, guys, without having to go through to a shaman, that I would be happy to share with you if you contact me personally, to where you can regroup yourself, you can reconnect, and the easiest way that I can put it to you is
Mhm.
you've got to turn to God. You've got to ask for help. You can even ask your spirit guides to help you in your dream state. Set your intention before you go to sleep to go back in time, because in your dream state you can go back in time into the future. You can go anywhere because everything is happening
At the
at
time.
at the same time, at that higher level of consciousness, at the level of God, at the level of source. Okay. So we'll be giving you more tips on what to do on this. But what
Step,
can
step,
you
step.
tell our listeners for now, Lidiana, about gathering those pieces?
Gathering those pieces. I will suggest
Hmm.
you journal those moments that day that somebody said or did something to you, and look into it, because when you connect with that energy from that time, you start remembering who you are,
Yes.
because the pieces start coming back together. They're there. You just disconnected with them from them. And I will share an experience that it happened to me, in dark night of the soul. I remember I say I will never be able to love again. And I felt it. And then I hold on, hold on, hold on. I sit back and I say, hold on, I can't tell that to myself. Um, it's just it's a level of consciousness that messes with your being
Yeah.
to confuse you. I call
Because if
it.
you really believe that, that's a metacognition, that you end up manifesting that. You have the power as a co-creator with God to manifest it.
Yeah, I sit up back and I say, hold on, I have the tools. And one of my friends, a good friend of mine, she said to me, you have all the tools. And going into that, so you know something about yourself, is whatever you have studied and whatever you have done in the past, it was given to you, whatever tool it is, So when you go through difficulties, you use those tools. I had a box of tools for me to heal myself during the time going to the dark night of the soul. The dark night of the soul you can go very deep and you can have suicidal thoughts because
Yes.
I experienced it.
Yes.
Honestly, I mean, I'm pouring my heart to you. I experienced it. I did not want it to leave. And just the thought of my two children, just like I will pick myself out and say, no, this doesn't belong to me. These whatever is trying to confuse me is not me. It's something that wants to confuse me. Um, I have a friend that she committed suicide. She went through the dark night of the soul during her separation with her husband, and she couldn't handle it. And that left me like, this can happen to anybody. She was the
Yeah.
the most beautiful spiritual woman,
Yeah.
and she couldn't take it. And I don't want that to happen to anybody. If your thoughts are coming into that, you need to reach out to people. And look, I am a prayer warrior. If you need a prayer, contact me.
Yeah.
I will pick up the phone and do a prayer for you because one of my teachers told me one day, and you are being so attacked because the enemy is afraid of what you're here to do.
Yes.
And you need to stay strong. So, all of you, whoever, I hope uh, you understand that you are not alone.
Lady,
You're
I want
absolutely not alone.
yes, I want to close by you explaining the powerful force of repeating the I am in fortifying your belief in yourself.
Okay. The I am is a feeling. It's not so much um a word, but it's a feeling. And how I connect to the I am is that you are all and you are one with our creator. You're not separated. You are mm, mm, the temple of that I am. And as you care for your body and your mind and your spirit, you are the all I am. And you are love and you are um, abundance. And we are all co creators to the great I am.
How can people ground that feeling
The feeling
beyond the thought? Because you're absolutely certain that it's a vibration, it's a feeling, but how do you take it from the mind into
to
the
the heart. Okay. Like I told you guys, I ground myself. It's very important for me to do it that way. Everybody does it different. If you live in a high rise, well, you're in a high rise. But you ground yourself and you do a breathing exercise that you're gonna share some with them, whatever works for you. And then you go into the silent moment and you listen to your heart. And as you listen to your heart, you start in gratitude because the heart is the one that pumps the blood into your whole nervous system and then goes beyond the nervous system, the energy fields that we're going to talk later in our talks. Um, and then I smile to the heart with gratitude and I say, thank you, God. And I start channeling the vibration. And it just takes one step at a time. It's one at a time. And it's feeling the heart that is pumping the blood. But as it's pumping the blood, it's expanding more. And then you call the great I am. And you go into the Om and you feel the energy. You feel and you say it with divine love, with
okay.
love to you, loving you because you are the great I am. We
Now,
all are.
I want you to give our listeners uh, who may be new to this, who may need training wheels because you're like a race car or you're like a race bicycle. How do you feel about standing in front of a mirror, looking at yourself in the eyes, and repeating phrases about your virtues, starting with your virtues? How do you feel about that?
I did that many years ago.
Okay.
That was part of my training. I think that is incredible energy looking at your eyes, but you have to be careful with the mirrors.
Okay.
Mirrors are portal.
Yes.
So we had to do an episode about do protecting those mirrors.
What about looking at a childhood picture
Well, that is very healing. That's
and
incredible.
and
Yeah.
then and then saying I am and saying all the virtues of that?
Yes, that would be that is very healing for the child and within. Yeah, I think that works. For the mirrors, guys, I suggest and
Hey, that's advanced. That's like way advanced. X. And I do know something about that, so we'll save that for another episode.
Okay.
But for now, find a picture, childhood picture, when you were innocent, before you were wounded and hurt. And even if that child is wounded and hurt, you repeat out loud. It's got to be out loud. Go find a go to a park, go where there's privacy and tell that picture everything that is virtuous about you. I am compassionate. I am loving. I am peaceful. I am hopeful. I am optimistic. Every single virtue that you have, just repeat it over and over and over and over again to the image of that picture, because that image of that picture is a moment frozen in time that you're going to thaw out and you're going to incorporate and you're going to get that feeling that Lady Diana is talking about.
And do it every day. I would challenge you to do it for 45 days.
Why 45?
You
I know that
reprogram.
I know that 40 days is how long it takes to develop a new habit. Why 45? Give us
Because you reprogram your superconscious mind and you your brain believes what you tell them.
yes. It
It's
becomes
like
true.
it becomes the truth. It's like when a child has been told, "Oh, you're stupid." That child will believe all his life that he can never do nothing. He's stupid.
Yes.
And parents do that. And I advise moms never do that. You tell your son he's a genius and program him to be incredible human beings. Our words become prophet
Yes.
prophetization, is that the
Prophetic.
word? Prophetic. Uh, my mother prophetized over me as a child, and I did to my children.
Okay.
Yeah. I,
Any final words, Lady Diana?
um, to take a breath every day of your life, knowing that is divine energy, and that when you breathe in, that divine consciousness goes through you, and then you impact the world by
The Buddhists the Buddhists believe that we die
every breath.
with every exhalation and we are reborn with every inhalation. The power of the cycle of life. Birth, death, birth, death. Okay? So never be afraid to die to your past, never be afraid. In fact, I developed a proprietary approach towards creating your own spiritual death to all of the noise and all of the guilt and everything that weighed you down, so that again you could be reborn as a phoenix to arise from the ashes. But again, that's a future episode.
Yeah, it is. It's really knowing. It's just be aware, the awareness that your breath is life force that is abundant, that is happy, that is everything, and your cells start um, recalibrating and vibrating in a higher
Yes,
level.
absolutely.
So the breath is very important.
All right. Well, we're gonna have
Yeah.
to leave it there.
Thank you very much. You can email us any questions, any ideas, anything you want more from these episodes. I'll be very happy to answer.
Until next time, friends, go out and have a great week.